Face reality, people. Movies are dead. Games are dead. Narrative? Dead.
Media is nothing but neural trigger response and viral conditioning.
Wait, what are you two talking about?
That was the end.
Okay.
Allegedly.
7.8. Right.
That movie could be better than I'm even realizing. Right now I have it 7-9 to 8 territory. Fuck. 8. I'll give it an 8. I think it's probably even better than I'm thinking. Because there's little subtle things that they're sprinkling throughout the movie that doesn't really make sense until the ending. Or the third act, at least. And you look back and you're like, okay, now that shit's hitting home as far as where you were going. Because they did some of the cliche things, but the cliche things end up being seen in a different light once you get the point of what they were doing in the movie in the first place. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's just my opinion at this moment. My just instant reaction to it. There's definitely a message here. It's definitely, in my opinion, probably something more than social. Although social elements are, those are like blatant evidence of something beyond social, if that makes sense.
I was like fucking grasping at every little detail.
Yeah.
The whole movie, I'm like, oh shit.
They went for something, man. They took a risk and went for something.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's risks all over the place. Then you go watch Guy Ritchie yesterday.
I know.
It's like, fuck. Drop off. Immense.
Yeah. At the very least, there was a risk taken. So it's already better than basically every Guy Ritchie movie. Sorry, Guy Ritchie. We just watched one of his movies yesterday. Yeah. I'm like, honest to God, I want to make more of an assessment and give more of a definitive grade, but I'm sticking at 8 right now, and I have a feeling that it's much higher than I'm even thinking. And Nicolas Cage might have been right when he wasn't just selling the movie. When he said, I think it's a masterpiece. He wasn't just selling the movie. Possibly. It might actually be up there. But I need another walkthrough of it, to be honest. That's where I'm at. Anyone else? You want 7-8? Yeah.
I think it's not 8 sounds. It's better than a 7-8. I go with it. Yeah, 8's probably too low too. I need like in the beginning, yeah, there were certain things in the beginning, like this is adding up to something later on. But I kind of lost track of it because I was too focused on what was going on.
Yeah.
Presently.
I mean, yeah, I'm kind of half asleep too. Like I'm kind of sleepy as shit too. But I plan on rewatching this.
Yeah, there's definitely a gem in there.
I think there's something there. I think there is a there. That's what I think. Jesse, anything?
I don't know. I mean, I was sorting through a lot of, well, you hear me guessing a bunch of things, and then I did find substance to make, to make some things meaningful, and then they just kept taking detours. I couldn't, I don't know. I'm not sure yet.
Oh no, okay, so also like a theme was his life felt very like anticlimactic and like he was felt like apathy in the beginning, and then there was a boom bust where he got everything he wanted for a short period of time, and he was like well, it was weird because he was like kind of overindulging, but at the same
Yeah.
time, like when that girl had fantasies with him, that's like when it started to turn towards something else, where it's like, oh, like that opened the floodgates of like, oh, he even then he's experiencing something you would perceive positively, and then immediately after that, it's like, well, like it's like, yeah, you got one experience that's positive, and then you'll have like a million where it's like negative and like vulgar,
Well, he was like
and you,
brand new.
Just literally the climax.
Well, he was brand new and fresh, right? And I was like,
yeah,
oh, look at this phenomenon. And then naturally, that's why I said mother in the middle of the movie, because it reminds me of that. Because it reminds me of at least what I think what Aronofsky was doing in the movie Mother, where right, Jennifer Lawrence has a baby, and it's like, oh, like I think it symbolizes like Christ or a Christ figure. They're like, oh, the baby, the new baby, oh, and they're like, everyone's happy, they're celebrating, it's all happy, happy, sunshiny shit. But then at a certain point, that happiness turns into fear. Like, well, fuck, what will happen to me? What the fuck will happen to me now? And then it gets like a little bit darker, right? And like
yeah,
that's kind of shown in this movie as well. Like, where it's like, oh fuck, like all of a sudden, like a virus. Like as soon as someone has like a quote unquote bad experience, it starts spreading, and then even though this guy's doing nothing, right? In the original dream, right? He's doing nothing. Now they're
yeah,
using their imaginations to plant on top of this guy and turn him into a bad guy, even though he's still just doing nothing. Right?
yeah.
He's still doing nothing, which is fucking interesting. I was like, God damn. And then it's the
But
way they
also,
ended it that really pulled me in. Good?
well, that's the thing. Then it's also the theme of his personal relationship with his family,
Yeah.
where it's like in the beginning, it's like almost that's like put to the back burner, and he's more focused on that conversation at the beginning when he's talking to whoever that lady is, a colleague of his, who has the success he yearns for,
Yeah.
and then through that fucking whole dream, the whole dream process, he tries to he's constantly trying to achieve that goal. And then, like at the end of the movie, he achieves the goal, but it's not the goal. It's like in like a totally like fucked up way, and
Yeah.
he loses what he really cared about the whole time, which was his wife and kids and that life he had.
Yeah. Maybe there's something to him. Remember the girl, right, where he premature ejaculates, right?
Yeah,
Maybe there's something where like, right, everyone has this idea of him. It's like, oh, I was like flying in an airplane in my dream, and then I saw you, and you were
yeah,
just some guy there. Like this kind of semi-happy-ish thought. What if his experience with the girl, like he crushed her fantasy of what he was
yeah.
so much that now maybe you're not just some nice guy in my dream. Maybe you're this or that. Maybe you're the demon of my dream or something. And then all of a sudden he starts murdering everyone. It's like, and then I guess it becomes a part of the collective, conscious and unconscious. I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I need to rewatch it. There's fucking elements here that are super duper interesting. There's some big PP symbolism in here as well. Like not like verbally spelled out, but like certain things like they did with the colors of red and blue, that they did with the idea of fire. Like they did actually like they did these symbols and these things that are absolutely used in other works of art. It seemed like some sort of language of directors, I guess, or screenwriters, or or even writers before there was film and shit like that. It seems to be like a fucking theme with these like kind of arcane fucking symbolism fucking things. It, that may sound crazy or woo woo, but like that shit actually happens. Like I'm sorry.
No,
The-
definitely,
There's
definitely.
people who go underwater and start having dream sequences. Like that seems to happen a lot, over and over and over again. I'm just saying. So like, oh, maybe that means the subconscious. Oh, got it. As far as from one director to another, I don't know. But it seemed like those things were in here. in my opinion. And once again, I need to rewatch it, but it seemed like those are there as well. It's like, interesting.
The ending was super interesting too, where he said, "I wish this was real," and then he goes up and then the movie ends. Like, oh, that was some type of symbolism too.
Yeah. He went, maybe he was finally in his wife's dreams, even though he was never in her dreams beforehand.
Yeah, it never seemed like he was.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a lot of things with like whether psychology or the symbolisms. Those things are are things that every person can kind of relate to, like have personal experience with. What I had a little bit of almost attachment was like there's also this experience that we have indirectly. What we just watched, we watched like a rise of celebrityhood, and then and like I didn't experience that personally, right? But I see it all the time in the news or whatever, right? Like somebody will rise and become famous, and those things are great, but then either other things in their past show up, or they get careless and indulge, and then things backfire on them, and then they just have a decline from just kind of taking advantage of that, like, I guess, power.
Oh,
and
yeah.
uh and so like that was like an something that we were watching um him experience, and we see it like constantly in the celebrities world, right? I mean, but we're
Sure.
also kind of like almost passengers viewing those things as well. So it's familiar in that way, but it's not like first person kind of thing.
Sure. But at the same, like, it seemed like they were, like, that sounds like a possibility. Maybe they were going with that. That's just about celebrity culture or
I
what we
think it's
do with
just that
celebrities.
it wasn't the whole. I
But I
don't think
think
it was.
people do that with people, seemingly. Or like, it doesn't have to be celebrity, some sort of phenomenon that's in front of them. They see it and they're in awe, like, oh, wow, look at this thing. And then next second, it's the boogeyman here to get you. I think people do that all the fucking time, especially with like phenomenons, whether it's pop culture. Like, I guess that'd be a feature of that. But I was leaning more towards like what the movie Mother was doing, where it's like, it's clearly not about fucking celebrity life. So maybe that's a part of it where people can become anointed as like important person. And
Well, he was getting a lot of things that he didn't really like even feel like he deserved initially, right? Until he eventually started to like it, right? Like that is really the whole reason he had a climax moment was like you were asking, like, did he even cheat, right? Like, and I definitely get that question. There was actually no physical cheating, but but if you think about what goes through his mind in order to get to that point, like, yes, she was like the initiator, right? But like, now think about it. Like, he's married, um, and he's not doing anything in his life, right? And now there's this person who's like the initiator, and he sees it, and he's like, okay, whatever. And then, but at some point, even though she's leading, she takes him to his house or her house, and they're there, and then he's still going through all of those. So, so there's clearly like he just let it go, like he just let it happen, and so by that point, like in his mind, he's like, all right, let's this is he's feeling lucky, he's taking advantage of the moment, right? But like, the way also being careless, right? Where you get like you know
sure,
you fuck things up, right? So things happen.
sure.
It's not,
Well, yeah. I get what you're saying on a social level, but
Yeah.
like her dream was this guy, the shadowy figure walking out, and she's like, "No." He's like, "Yes," and he like, right, takes her romantically, I guess, in her dream, and then in the actual quote unquote the real life of the movie, he's sitting in that corner, supposed to be some like shadowy figure. He's just like clearly Nicolas Cage with a fucking what you call it
Yeah, no,
cul-de-sac. You clearly see this dude. He walks up
Fuck.
awkwardly. He's still like everything he does is off from her fantasy of him, and then after that, it turns into like this guy starts murdering people in dreams, or his image starts murdering people in dreams. Right? Pretty
yeah,
sure. Or like
yeah, yeah.
the image of like whatever it was before is now smashed to pieces. Maybe I'm saying like that could be something they were going with, but it could be what you're saying, or it's just straight up like he's feeling high and mighty, and then he bursts his own bubble, literally and figuratively.
Yeah, a lot of ways. I mean, they had a bunch of themes in here, throughout the movie.
Oh yeah, but I don't know. It seemed like there was just I don't know, even like it became like even the phenomenon wasn't taken as serious by the audience. It was kind of, but not really. Like they didn't build shrines and like make it into some sort of like, oh, this is our messiah character guy. It's like no, it's kind of just like wow, this is crazy. We all see this guy in our dream. Like wow, it's kind of crazy. And then it turns into straight up like visceral, like I spit in your breakfast fucking shit. It's like, well, how did it get there? Like that's crazy. I don't know. It for me, I need to rewatch it. But
Well, we see those things all the time, right? Like that visceral, like hateful reactions.
to who?
Yeah, I'm not talking about like in the street that you see it. I mean, like on social media, um, like just people turn, or you see like um, because they're on the news and all that, they extract like the worst cases in the clips, right, of how people react to things, and they just uh and they're nonsensical too, right? But some people have those reactions, so it gets communicated like it's normal, and so like on social media, those things like happen all like that's what you see.
Okay,
The
so
people,
like they turn on like there's a whatever a clip of
they literally reference Jordan Peterson
oh yeah Peterson
and
and someone else. I
cancel
forget.
culture, Jordan Peterson, and
Yeah,
so in that realm of topics,
I look at those as
it,
like curveball. I could be wrong. Look at those as like curveballs. To like here's like kitty litter. What's it called? Catnip to distract you with some of
yeah,
the weird shit they did in this movie. But good.
it could be, but there was like a bunch of things like that, like so with Jordan Peterson, cancel culture. There's also like I'm forgetting the name, one of the Weinsteins, like like is
Brett
actually a
or
professor.
Eric.
I guess I think it's the other one, like whatever the
There's Brett, I think, and Eric.
yeah, the one, well, um not not the one that we just saw speaking recently. The
I can't tell the one from the other. To be honest with you, I don't
yeah,
fucking know.
yeah. So one was the professor that was kicked out uh from he's a biologist, so not the one that's like a physicist, and and like they, I think he sued and won or something, but like basically the students didn't want him anymore. He used some of his ideas, and it was just like fighting against like it was students. They rebelled, and then it just like it didn't make any sense like how
And he
they.
sat there and talked to them and shit like that, right?
Hmm?
He
Hmm?
is he the guy who talked to these guys, talked to the students, right? And there's a recording
Yeah,
of it. Okay,
they
got it.
Yeah, yeah, he talks to them, but they're just. I mean, they come off as like crazy, right? So, I mean, with Jordan Peterson too, they were like, uh, uh, he's a transphobe, this and that, and it's like, like it just doesn't translate in reality, right? Like it's just they're not listening at all. They're just reacting and being hateful back, like because they might think he's hateful. So, but they're being hateful back without an actual instigating trigger.
So the thing in their subconscious that is getting them to dislike this guy, meaning their dreams, right?
Yeah, yeah. Their own internal thing is making them hateful to him, but it's coming from inside of them, right?
Well, it's the thing inside their. It's strictly the thing inside their head that's doing it.
Yeah, yeah. Like it's an image of something, but it's not real. But it can cause people to be like hateful, like it's just a preconceived notion that they already have, right?
Yeah, but like that'd be. I don't know. I'd view that as like a minuscule interpretation of that. Like, what was the end scene for then with him and his wife? What was that for? Like, what was that scene? Like that would like what you're saying plays a role. Like, yes, that would be part. Like, yes, the culture war or images of people on the internet. Sure, that plays a role in the right, the marketing and advertising your dreams, all that shit. Right, I got it. But then there's certain sceneries and moments like where it's like it seems like you're saying more than just something like that. Is it just a viral guy that that guy's everywhere? Then he does something wrong as far as PR goes, and we start hating him. And then I guess he goes off into obscurity and has
Mhm.
I don't know, has a fire dream with his wife. I don't understand. I wouldn't get that. Is it
Yeah.
just to be artsy fartsy? Is it just to be like, hey, look, we're trying to do art here? Was that the point? Doesn't make sense to me at that point. After that, like, I need to rewatch this because maybe you're right, and it's just strictly about that type of shit. But it's like I would think that'd be more of a part of it, like a language spoken so that the audience fucking gets it. But I didn't see
Yeah.
that at all. Like I said from the movie Mother, that element of right, they're like, oh, the newborn guy is here, oh, and then we start creating ways to, you know, what they do in the movie, which is rip the baby apart. They rip the baby apart into pieces in the movie Mother. So it's like, oh, that's kind of what you're doing here. Now maybe it's put through the lens of that, but like, I don't know. I need to rewatch it.
So,
Something intuitively tells me like that's not the full extent of the movie,
right.
like at all. It's a portion of it. I don't know. Maybe it's the language that's spoken. Like that's the easiest thing for us to pick up on is that type of shit. But I don't see that as like, is that really the theme? Is it about cancel culture or what we do to celebrity or what we do to people online or something? It's like, I don't know. Didn't they mention Jungian psychology? Is that on social media and shit? Like, I don't get that. Like, I cannot think it's just that. There's got to be some other shit happening here, seemingly. But I will give it a good rewatch. It's my opinion for that. Did you have a grade for it, Jesse?
Um. No, I don't. I'm not good with grades.
You didn't like it. You did like it. Do you recommend it? Yada yada yada.
Um. Yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot there to. There. There's things that. I think I probably missed some things that just piece everything together. You know.
do you recommend it for other people to watch?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah, definitely.
100% would.
Yeah, definitely.
Same. Highly
Whether,
recommend.
whether you're right, it's that simple of a story and I'm overrating it, or my wild, crazy fantasy idea of it is real. Either way, it's recommended to me. It's worth, I think, looking at.